So, Dylan, where are you going to go to your retreat?
So I'm going on a 10-day silent retreat, Goenka style retreat, about 2 hours from Sydney. Yes.
Okay. Why?
To deepen my practice in meditation, and it is one of the retreats that is very popular and offered in the area. I know there are many criticisms of Goenka, which I've heard, but I thought it's worth doing once in my life. It's worth trying out, getting some valuable insight, and
Please describe to me what you mean by the word deepening. The Buddha, by the way, never used the word deepening. There's no place in the suttas where it's called deepening. So I'm
right.
sure that you've heard that from Westerners.
Yeah, I've probably heard it here or there. I'm not too sure specifically where I've heard it. But for me, I don't view Buddha as the central source of authority necessarily. I can see and recognize there are many different traditions with merits and pitfalls. And I think there are some benefits to going on a Goenka retreat. There's probably some pitfalls, like the fact that
Okay,
you...
deepening your practice is a pitfall.
Is it a
So,
pitfall?
yes. So let's at least straighten that out.
Okay.
Okay. What we need to do instead is a consistent practice. And going to a Goenka retreat will give you the opportunity to practice consistently.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. But they will also give you the opportunity to say, oh, I don't want to do it right now, which is now in a state called hindrances.
Mm.
All right. And what do we mean by consistent practice then? Is consistently brightening the mind, consistently gladdening the mind, consistently um, continue to see by looking at the mind. And so the retreat then is a setting where you can easily remember to look at what the mind is doing and make changes to it.
Mm.
And the changes that you're going to make is to come out of the hindrances and come into positive territory, come into brightening the mind, come into gladdening the mind, come into having wholesome thoughts. And if you practice well, practice correctly, you will develop the skills of brightening the mind, gladdening the mind. You will develop the skill of having a positive attitude. And then you will develop the skill of having a winner's attitude. The kind of winner's attitude would be the attitude of, I can do this, I can handle my life, everything is okay, not a problem in the world. So even if you become an invalid and you can't walk anymore, that's okay. You're the winner here. It's the mind. And so there's no real reason to think of it as deepening. That in fact, the only kind of deepening that I know is deeper into hindrances, going actually in the wrong direction. We don't want to go down, we want to come back up. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so you're kind of suggesting the 10 days allows you to be really consistent with your practice, and by putting in a good amount of time, you are brightening the mind, you're gladdening the mind, you
Mm-hmm.
are becoming more...
Look at there, you've got a smile on finally. I've been waiting for it.
I've been smiling from the start.
Yeah, well, I've been smiling at you for the whole time here. That's what we want to do, is we want to brighten the mind. We want to have it a shining object. You want to have the winner's attitude. You want to be positive. You want to have the state of no worries. This is actually the goal of all of those who use crazy words like enlightenment, is lighten up. And here you're going to go to a retreat to go deep, which sounds heavy and dark. So I don't know where the Western mentality comes with going deep into meditation. It's going in the wrong direction. The whole idea is to lighten up so that nothing matters anymore, so that you have a strong mind, developed mind, so when the mind is fully developed, nothing matters. You've heard the statement that mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Well, this is what you've got to practice. You have to practice getting the mind strong enough so that nothing matters. This is brightening the mind. This is gladdening the mind. This is making the mind strong. And Goenka's doing it with the strong determination sittings, going deep. He puts people in a situation so that they think that they've got a lot of pain. He doesn't want them to move. He wants them to struggle. He wants them to persist. Well, he doesn't anymore. He's been dead since 2018. But the tapes that you'll listen to will be talking about going in the wrong direction. That, in fact, I do not recommend strong determination sittings unless you're practicing to, let us say, become a spy and get caught and tortured, to where, in fact, the more modern techniques of spy interrogation is to make friends with them, get them to lighten up, to open up. So the old idea of torturing somebody is kind of not the right direction to go anyway. And so I don't recommend that you torture yourself. I recommend that you can say, I can handle this. This is not torture.
So something that they might not teach at the retreat, but something you think is really valuable and important, is keeping that positive attitude through the meditations, through the sittings.
He sometimes mentions it, but never in a retreat.
Okay.
As you probably heard somewhere or another, I've done a lot of Goenka retreats. I did Goenka retreats one after another. I was a volunteer. I chased him all over India. Well, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Igatpuri.
Wow, so you must know it really well, actually. Yeah, I didn't
Yes.
realize you'd been to so many and been a volunteer as well. So you were really into it.
Yes.
Back in the day. Yeah, wow.
Back in the day, which was 1980, 1981.
Yeah, right.
Before they even had a video recorder, a VCR. Eventually, they got all electronic and put it on CDs and whatnot like that.
So back in the day, did the instructors teach it orally, or has it always been video?
Right, sitting right in the front there, within 5 feet of Goenka.
Oh, you were there with them. Wow.
Over and over and over again.
Okay.
And when he was at Igatpuri, around him half the day.
And what attracted you to Goenka retreat specifically, out of all the different traditions?
Basically, it was a process of coming out of all of the Hindu garbage, the magic, All of Hinduism is a magic show.
So you were Hindu before?
Would never use that word in that relationship, but I did spend quite a lot of months at Muktananda's ashram in Ganeshpuri,
Okay.
as well as going to Pondicherry and Goa and Bangalore, going to see Satya Sai Baba. But I was, looking for the magical side of things. And I came to find that all the magical gurus were just charlatans. And so Goenka was my first, let us say, reality retreat. Going in the direction of the Buddha, away from all that Hindu stuff, all the magic. And then I moved to Thailand. Actually, I left Goenka and was staying at Bodh Gaya at a Thai Wat. And there I met a monk who knew Bhikkhu Buddhadasa very well and invited me to come, insisting that I come to Thailand. And that was in 1982, I think, something like that. And so I spent quite a number of months at Wat Suan Mok and then ordained in December 2084. Because when I got to Wat Suan Mok, I really felt at home. I really felt that I had found what I had been looking for and struggling for all of those years in India. And that is freedom from suffering. Dukkha, dukkha, nirodha. Now, here's a question for you. With all of those Hindus, when they're looking for magic, what are they actually looking for? Is it not that when I have magical power, then I'll have the power to feel good?
Mm.
Well, the real point is that you have to practice feeling good because you have been practicing feeling bad for your whole life. You were taught to feel bad. The first thing that you did was have a great big trauma called birth. Then you're out of control, can't do anything, can't feed yourself, can't wipe yourself, can't stand up and walk around, completely dependent upon others. And as we're children, we grow up dependent upon others. And no one is training us to have a strong, independent mind. That's the teaching of the Buddha, is to come out of our magical thinking, coming out of our want of power, and be happy with what we've got. That's the real teaching of the Buddha. That's why the Buddha's teaching is so different from all them other things, including going deep.
So
And what are you going to go down there when you go deep? You're going to find some mud. What are you going to go when you go deep? You're going to find a grave. What are you going to go when you go deep? What are you going to find? Crude oil? Let's not go deep. Let's fly.
so
Let's stop digging.
So specifically at a Goenka retreat, cultivating what they call insight practice.
Ultimately, the insight is to stop working so hard and enjoy your life. And I can tell you a number of people that that's happened to. When you just simply stop working and say, I'm already okay. When you found yourself in a deep hole, what do you want to do? You want to stop digging.
Okay, so using Vipassana as a method to moving in that direction.
What is the insight? When you say Vipassana, what do you mean?
Well, I suppose I'll learn what they really mean when I go there. Because
Well,
I can't say I'm a
I'm
Vipassana
telling you
expert,
now that
but
the Vipassana, the real insight is to stop working so hard. Stop struggling for things you don't have. The insight is that things are already good enough. Where are you going to get that insight? Because all of those students who go to the Goenka retreats, they struggle. A lot of those Goenka retreats, some people leave early. The best joy they have is while the retreat is over. And the insight, the real insight, would be that you can go to the Goenka retreat and enjoy the heck out of it. This is wonderful.
yeah, true.
Now,
Like a
that's the
holiday.
insight.
It's a good holiday.
Yes, wonderful holiday, but look how strongly they sit determined to try to go deep, thinking, oh, if I go deep, I'll find an insight down there. The only insight you'll find deep in that hole is to stop digging. So
So
that's
do
what
you
I would
advocate?
recommend. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you advocate for set meditation practice? Setting out some time to meditate. Do you advocate for that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And the reason for that is so people can have that, let us say, intention that eventually grows into eagerness, so that you have eagerness to clean your mind. Wow, what a relief it is. I don't have to worry about politics. Wow, what a relief it is. I don't have to worry about going to and waiting for the bell to ring. You see, in the Goenka retreat, most of the time is spent by most of the students waiting for the bell to ring. I wish this was over. And there's no insight in that. The real insight is everything is already okay. The real insight is that I'm already okay. I don't have to struggle anymore. Okay, so let me give you the real definition of enlightenment is worthwhile, because most people who go on those retreats have no idea of what enlightenment is. And so the first part of enlightenment would then be the Vipassana part. And that is turn a light on, daylight. Look at what's going on. Be able to see clearly when you're in dukkha, to see clearly when you have a bad attitude, to see clearly when you have unwholesome thoughts. Because only when you can see clearly that what I'm doing right now don't work, can you change. So that's the first part of it. The second part of it is the actual change. When you see you're carrying a heavy burden, I want this and I want that, you can set that want down, and now you're not so heavy anymore. You lighten up. And so those are the two parts. And in fact, there's several suttas that talk about that, but the translations are not very good. They use the word knowledge and deliverance. In fact, deliverance is not the right word for it at all. Dropping it would be a better word. So knowledge about what's heavy, and then dropping what's heavy. And what is heavy? Wanting to go deep in meditation. That's heavy. Let's have some real insight. The real insight is that I don't have to work. I'm sitting here. I'm already fine. Then the next thought will be, oh, I should work hard. I should work deep in meditation. And then you'll have another insight. Hey, I'm already okay. There's nothing to do. Everything is just fine. I can sit here in this meditation hall and enjoy this breath and enjoy the next one. Wow, what a relief it is. I don't have to get anything out of this retreat. And in fact, the way to look at it is that the teaching of the Buddha is via negative. There's nothing to gain, but a whole lot of crap to lose. That's the insight. The real insight is that you can let go of all of that stuff instead of wanting to pile a bunch more on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend that you do is look at those negative thoughts and say, hey, I don't have to have negative thoughts. I don't have to go deep. What I really need to do is brighten up, to gladden up, to lift my spirit instead of digging a deeper hole for it.
Yeah, nice. I will do that on the retreat.
All right.
I'll do that now. I am doing that now.
Yeah, I can tell. That's where the smile comes in, is the insight of, oh, I can do that.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much.
Good luck on that retreat.
Thank you.
Remember to not follow the directions that they give, but follow these directions that I'm giving you now.
Okay.
And look at what you're doing and make a change to it.
Okay. As far as technique goes, though, I'd still be like focusing on nose, this part, or the breath, or whatever,
Goenka never taught about nose.
or this part of the body scanning the
No, he did
sensations.
not. Goenka
Okay.
never taught about that as far as I know.
Oh,
But
where
in
did it come
fact, the
from?
Buddha didn't teach about that. The Buddha said, in fact, Goenka uses for the first part of his retreat what he calls anapana, that we add anapanasati. It's not just breathing, it's mindfully breathing. And the reason that we mindfully breathe, the second part of the retreat is what they call body scanning, which is actually part of the sutta, of the Anapanasati Sutta. And what that actually means is getting to know your body, the whole body. Not one place does Goenka talk about the nose tip. Not one time in any of the suttas does the Buddha talk about the nose tip. That in fact, what is referred to later is called a cave. Now imagine a cave deep in the ground, and then you can recognize, oh, there is a hole that we can crawl into called the nostrils that lead through a passage called the throat area down into the lungs. And as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out, you can feel that movement in and out. You can feel the touch of the cloth. You can feel the wind. You can feel all kinds of things because you're getting in touch with the body. But Goenka makes a mistake in that he doesn't go all the way to step 4 of Anapanasati, which is to relax the body. And so as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out, or as you go into the scanning of the body, remember to relax the body. And yet most of the students, because they're digging deep, they've got their mental shovel all spading up and throwing things out, they get really tense. They're working hard. But the Anapanasati Sutta of the Buddha is that you learn the body, you see the body, you scan the body so that you can find tensions and relax, so that you can be all relaxed, relaxed in the body and relaxed in the mind, relaxed in your attitude, and then relaxed in your feelings. That's the Satipatthana right there.
Right. So the missing key is that relaxation component, which doesn't seem to be taught in Goenka retreats.
No,
It's
they
not
don't
taught.
teach it. He's, in fact, at the end of the retreat, starting day 8 or so, they teach strong determination. Don't move your hands. Don't move. Don't open your eyes. Don't move your legs. Now, if that was taught correctly, he would say, just relax. Just relax. But instead, students get all tense because they're trying to hold it still, even though their body is in pain, their mind is in pain, their mind's on fire, they're full of hindrances. They want that bell to ring so that they can move their legs instead of just relaxing the legs, intentionally relaxing.
So on retreat, what happens if you just move your legs? Do they come around and get angry at you?
Nobody comes around to know that, in fact,
Okay.
if your legs are in pain, move them. Keep your circulation. I know I used to keep a list of guys, most of them were monks, who were sitting in that strong determination sitting, ruining their knees. They couldn't even sit with the other monks because they were in so much pain. And how did they develop the pain? By struggling to sit still rather than learning to relax.
Yeah, awesome. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll make sure to move my legs more often then, or as I see fit, I suppose.
Yes. If the teaching of the Buddha is dukkha, dukkha nirodha, then why would you sit in pain in your legs? What are you trying to do?
I suppose Goenka might argue, I don't know if you would argue this, but you would be able to see
You'll
the
probably
impermanent
find a
nature
whole
of the
bunch of
sensations.
volunteers there that'll argue all kinds of things that I've had to say today.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead.
I was just saying maybe the determination teaches people that even though you might feel a sensation, it comes and goes. It's impermanent. It doesn't. You know, you don't have to you don't have to itch your arm. You don't have to move your leg. You can just say, "Oh, it's fine as it is. I'm going
Yeah,
to
if
allow
you
my
can
leg to
have
be."
that attitude, that's the problem is that beginning students cannot develop that attitude.
So, if I can have that attitude, is it good to follow that attitude and be like, "It's okay. I don't need to move my arm. I don't need to scratch my edge. I
Yeah.
don't need to move my legs." If I can get to that attitude and be
In
happy there,
other words, relax right
should I
then and
focus
there
on that or?
rather than tensing up to endure it.
Okay.
Just relax. Everything is okay. Not a problem in the world. I've got a strong mind and I can just sit here and I can do it happily.
Yeah, great advice. Well, next week I'll have a blast. I'll enjoy this retreat and have a good holiday.
Yeah, have a good holiday, relax, get the insight that you need to have that good, strong, positive attitude. I can handle this.
Yes, sir.
That's the insight. The insight is you're already okay. The insight is you don't need anything.
Yes, sir.
You're already all right. Not a problem in the world. Brighten the mind, gladden the mind. Everything is okay.
Yep.
So you go practice that. Practice it before you go to the Goenka retreat. Become skilled in it now. Right bloody now.
Well, thank you. Thank you for this call.
All right. We'll see you later, Dylan.
Yeah. We'll see you later. Thank you.